Former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao indicted. Did Major League Baseball know? If they did it have anything to do with the A's relocation to Las Vegas? Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since 1981. I'm here to bring you a real fans take, covering everything from Oakland to Sacramento, and yes, to Las Vegas. This is the place for A's fans to get the latest game breakdowns, team news, and more. This is where the passion of the fans take center stage. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. We are still officially considered off-season, which means episodes will run 3 days a week. I don't know what days those will be. It depends on news that hit the wire on the A's. But yes, it is 3 days a week, and episodes should be up at 6 a.m. during the week. I usually shoot for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This week, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Thursday, I have a very, very exciting guest, former Oakland Athletic. I'll leave it at that. Going to leave you a little bit in suspense. Starting the week of February 10th, we will be back to 5 days a week, which happens to be exactly when pitchers and catchers report. The Athletics are adding something new to their 2025 uniforms. Players will be wearing a patch featuring an image of the Tower Bridge above the word Sacramento next season. This new patch will replace Stomper, the A's elephant, which was rooted in an age-old rivalry and why it has endured for over a century. That's later. The A's have officially signed right-handed pitcher José Leclerc, which drastically improves a bullpen that was one of the best in baseball in 2024. What does the A's bullpen look like in 2025? That's in a bit. Former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, her partner Andre Jones, and the infamous Duong family. What do they all have in common? Well, according to federal prosecutors, they were running a pay-to-play scheme that lined up their pockets while the city of Oakland crumbled. Did Major League Baseball know about this corruption taking place, and did it have any influence on the owner's vote, which ultimately led the A's going to Sacramento and eventually to Las Vegas? Up next. This episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. If you win your first bet, visit FanDuel.com to get started. I don't even know where to start with this one. The level of corruption we're talking about today, it's beyond frustration. It's infuriating. We're diving into how Major League Baseball possibly knew about former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's corruption before it became public and how they used that knowledge to influence the owner's vote to move the A's to Vegas. This is obviously 100% speculation, my own opinion, but I find it hard to imagine an organization as powerful as MLB and with the resources they have, that they did not know of what was going on. Let's break it down. According to federal prosecutors, Mayor Sheng Thao, her partner Andre Jones, and the Duong family, they were running a pay-to-play scheme that lined up their pockets while the city of Oakland was crumbling. Federal authorities have unsealed an indictment accusing Thao and Jones of accepting over $300,000 in bribes from David and Andy Duong. In return, Thao allegedly promised to extend their multi-million-dollar recycling contract with the city and purchase modular housing units from their company if she got elected in 2022, which she did. And Major League Baseball, what about them? I think they knew well before an official investigation was underway. I believe that they had insiders feeding them information well before any of this became public knowledge. While we were all rallying to keep the A's in Oakland, the league had already made up its mind. They saw the writing on the wall, a corrupt mayor who could sink any future stadium deal in Oakland. And they used it to push their narrative that the A's had to leave. The owners vote, done deal, long before it even hit the table. Let's talk numbers. The Duongs allegedly funded negative campaign ads against Tao's opponents, spending $75,000 to clear her path to victory. After she won, Jones pocketed $95,000 for a fake job. Meanwhile, Oakland's crime rates skyrocketed, homelessness spiraled out of control, and the local economy absolutely tanked. But instead of fixing that, Thao was allegedly busy cutting shady deals behind closed doors. And what were MLB executives doing? They were watching, waiting, and planning. They knew once the scandal broke, public trust in Oakland leadership would be shattered beyond repair. MLB used Tao's corruption, although not publicly known at the time, but through their own investigation, and presented it to MLB fellow owners as their excuse to justify moving the A's out of a city that fought tooth and nail to keep them, thus receiving the votes they needed. Remember when the FBI raided multiple properties tied to the Duongs back in June? That wasn't just a random event. It was part of a long-running investigation that MLB insiders were tipped off about well beforehand. The indictment even alleges Thao tried to appoint officials handpicked by the Duongs, pushing through contracts without competitive bidding. And how about text messages? The outrageous text messages. After Thao won the election by just 677 votes, her associates were allegedly texting each other saying, "So we may go to jail, but we are $100 million richer." The audacity is unreal. And while Thao and Jones have pleaded not guilty, the evidence seems to be stacking up. During the time this was going down, there was always questions in my mind that I could not answer. First, Commissioner Manfred always seemed to disregard and not even give the time of day to Mayor Thao. This was not the case when former Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf was in office. Manfred was publicly complimentary of Mayor Schaaf, and Mayor Schaaf, in her own words, described her relationship with MLB and Commissioner Manfred as very friendly. They had their issues. The city of Oakland sued the A's in 2019, which caused Manfred to threaten the city to drop the lawsuit or the A's would leave. Despite this, there was always dialogue. There was always communication. That was not the case with Thao. For me, the relationship with MLB and Shaft compared to Thao was night and day. Why didn't MLB acknowledge the city of Oakland's offer of a larger financing district and more off-site infrastructure funding? Tao's team secured $425 million for infrastructure, exceeding the A's request. Tao was open to adjusting the deal. She even said if the A's wanted a stadium-only project like they are doing in Vegas, it could be fast-tracked and construction could start in 18 months. But did MLB care? Nope. They wanted out. They waived the relocation fee. The owners approved that. Before you know it, they were out of Oakland and going to Sacramento. The A's moving saga is nothing new. It has been going on for decades. Everything happened so damn fast and nothing seemed to add up. The only thing that makes any type of sense for me is that the A's knew about the corruption. MLB knew about the corruption, and it was just a matter of time before it all exploded, which it recently did. Both MLB and the A's wanted to be as far away from it as possible, and they succeeded. Think about it. Major League Baseball is one of the most influential professional sports organizations in the world, with a deep history of impacting local economies, cultural landscapes, and political environments. In cities with MLB franchises, mayors play a crucial role in facilitating agreements, infrastructure developments, and economic partnerships. Mayor Sheng Thao was a central figure in discussions surrounding the future of Major League Baseball in Oakland. And more importantly, a central figure on the broader impact on the community, only later to find out that this central figure is accepting over $300,000 in bribes, allegedly, while crime rates in Oakland are skyrocketing. The indictment also alleges that after Thao took office, she wasted no time in trying to make good on all those promises, helping appoint officials chosen by Duong and trying to push through contracts without competitive bidding. Oakland residents deserved better, but instead, their leadership was up for sale to the highest bidder. Could you imagine all this going on while the A's were in discussion about a new stadium, while using public funds to pay for this stadium? Okay, forget about the new stadium. If the A's were still in Oakland till 2028 and all this was going down, could you imagine the backlash? This would for sure blow back on MLB and the A's. I'm sure A's fans would be saying it was Fisher who was at fault, not Thao. Hey, Summer of Cell movie guy, I'm sure you have a lot of editing to do on your 50% truth video you sent the owners to look at trying to persuade a no vote. Well, it's more like 25% true now. Brody B, where are you at, bud? Interesting. You are not covering this story, or maybe not so surprising. Maybe you will by the time this video posts. So what does this all mean? Did Oakland get played? Did all of us get played? Maybe the relocation wasn't just about attendance or revenue. It was about leveraging corruption for MLB's benefit. Maybe they didn't want to deal with the mess, so they bailed. Let's be clear. Former Mayor Thao has been indicted. She is not guilty of anything. And what I am saying, as I said at the beginning, is simply speculation, just my opinion. So what is my opinion? Did MLB and or the A's know about the corruption, and did it influence their move to Vegas? Part one of the question is Absolutely, they knew it took place. I absolutely believe without a doubt they knew. Did it have anything to do with their move to Sacramento and eventually Las Vegas? For someone who has lived in this saga for over 4 decades, I don't know. I simply don't know. I will say this, and I have said it before. The city could not have had a worse person to be their leader in attempting to keep the A's in Oakland than Mayor Thao. That has proven to be correct. It has always been my theory that the A's never had the intention of staying in Oakland. But over the last month or two, it has changed. If they had the right person in leadership that could connect with Fisher, that can talk Fisher's language, I do believe something could have happened to keep the A's in Oakland. But they didn't have a shot in hell with Mayor Thao as Oakland's leader. What I do know, without a doubt, is that the A's will once again have one of the best bullpens in all of baseball in 2025. Coming up next. This episode is brought to you in part by Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions in savings. Members have saved up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. For me, one of the best features is the subscription tracker. I've used it to cancel services I wasn't using anymore, and I've already saved a ton. Plus, with their goals feature, I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future. No more stressing about budgeting every month. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/locked-on today. That's rocketmoney.com/locked-on. rocketmoney.com/locked-on. As we gear up for the 2025 season, there is a lot to be excited about, especially when it comes to the bullpen. In 2024, our relief corps emerged as a key strength. And with some key additions and returning talent, the A's bullpen looks poised to make an even bigger impact this year. Let's dive deep into what fans can expect. The biggest offseason splash for the bullpen came with the signing of José Leclerc, which we covered in an emergency episode on Friday. In case you missed it, here is a summary. Leclerc, 8-year veteran with postseason experience. Despite a 4.32 ERA in 2024, advanced metrics suggest he performed better than the numbers indicate. Leclerc's experience from the Rangers' 2023 World Series run makes him a prime setup option and a potential closer alternative if needed. Why Leclerc matters. Career 3.27 ERA across 360 plus innings. 31.2% career strikeout rate, showcasing dominant stuff. Improved control post Tommy John surgery. When you talk about the A's having a great bullpen, it leads with our closer, 2024 All-Star, 2024 All Major League Baseball second team, Mason Miller. Miller shattered expectations, setting an A's record with 28 saves. His high-octane fastball and unshakable poise in the ninth inning solidify him as the go-to closer in 2025. A few flashbacks I think of Mason Miller: shutting down the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, shutting down the Orioles in Baltimore, 2-inning save at New York against the Mets, inning and a third save against the Brewers in Oakland, coming off a 2-game losing streak. Miller was absolutely dominant, and Kotsay went to him for, if needed, 2 innings. We just talked about him, and not much need to go much further with him, but José Leclerc will be our 8th inning guy. We have 2 legitimate closers for the 8th and 9th inning. If the A's have the lead after 7, game over. They are both that good. It doesn't stop there. When Mason Miller was on the IL last year, you know who they turned to? I'll tell you who. Tyler Ferguson, and he was effective. Ferguson delivered with a 3.6 ERA over 48 appearances. How about Michel Otañez? I've talked about him before. He has the most electric stuff out of the bullpen right next to Mason Miller. Otañez excelled in his debut season with a 3.44 ERA in 55 Ks in 34 innings. Look for him to be a reliable option in high leverage spots and a bridge to the later innings. As far as lefties, the one individual you can count on is TJ McFarland. McFarland was a workhorse last season, leading the majors with 79 appearances and posting a solid 3.81 ERA. His ability to induce ground balls 59.4% of the time makes him a crucial asset in high leverage situations. Expect him to continue shutting down left-handed hitters and keeping runners off bases. Here's the deal with McFarland. Kotsay primarily used McFarland to face one lefty batter, usually with 2 outs in the inning, and that was it. So the 79 appearances is a little bit skewed. But regardless, Kotsay knew how to use McFarland. He used him in the appropriate manner, and McFarland was very effective. I expect McFarland to continue to be in that role in 2025. The other lefty the A's have coming out of the bullpen is Hogan Harris. I still believe that Harris has a good shot in the starting rotation, but given the fact that the A's are light on lefties in the pen, it is unlikely. Everyone forgets that Hogan Harris had a 2.86 ERA across multiple roles last year. I like Harris a lot. Look for him to be used in the same type of capacity like he was last year. Spot starts, reliable arm out of the bullpen, high leverage situations, long relief, whatever it may be. Hogan Harris is your jack of all trades when you're talking about the A's pitching. Here's where the competition's at. If the A's go with 13 position players and 13 pitchers, you have 5 starters and 8 relievers. Mason Miller, Leclerc, Ferguson, Otañez, McFarland, and Hogan Harris are in. That leaves 2 spots to the following guys. Grant Holman made his debut last year and showed flashes of brilliance, 4.02 ERA. Noah Murdoch was our Rule 5 pick. He's 6'8". Ground ball heavy approach makes him a valuable depth piece. Mitch Spence, JT Ginn competing for both rotation and bullpen spots. Jacob Lopez who was involved in the Joe Boyle trade, offers another left-handed option. Ryan Cusick, former top prospect with high upside. Anthony Maldonado and Justin Sterner, waiver pickups with potential. The A's have a bullpen built to compete. It's a solid mix of veteran presence, young arms, and depth. The A's bullpen is shaping up to be a formidable unit in 2025 as it was in 2024, but better. The team is coming off a strong second half of 2024, showing glimpses of playoff potential. If the bullpen can continue its dominance, it will be a key factor in the A's quest for a postseason berth. The pieces are in place for a successful 2025, with Mason Miller locking down the ninth, Leclerc providing the eighth, and a cast of reliable arms. The A's bullpen could be the X factor that pushes them into the playoffs. When the A's do make the playoffs, they will be missing an elephant patch that went by the name of Stomper on their left sleeve. Up next. This episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So the Athletics have announced they will honor their temporary home in Sacramento with a brand new uniform patch. The design features the iconic Tower Bridge with the word Sacramento proudly displayed beneath it. Here's the context, as if you didn't know, but just in case. The A's will call Sacramento's Sutter Health Park home this year as they prepare for their eventual move to Las Vegas. They're expected to spend at least 3 seasons with a team option for a fourth in the state capital as their Las Vegas ballpark in Vegas is being built. Even though the team won't change its name to Sacramento, which I have expressed my extreme disapproval on in the past, as that makes zero sense to me, but I'm not going to go on with another rant on that. The patch ensures, though, that Sacramento does get its due recognition. Fans attending opening day at Sutter Health Park on March 31st will receive a hat featuring the new patch, along with a rally towel commemorating another special tribute. In addition to the Sacramento patch, the A's will honor Hall of Famer Rickey Henderson by wearing a patch with his iconic number 24. Henderson, an A's legend who dazzled fans with his speed and power across 4 stints with the team, sadly passed away in December. This patch serves as a heartfelt tribute to one of baseball's greatest players, a nod to his contributions to the franchise legacy, including the 1989 World Series championship. Let's talk about Stomper. And the story of the A's and their beloved elephant is more than just a tale of a mascot. It's a legacy that's been rooted in the heart of baseball for over a century. A symbol of resilience, rivalry, and triumph. While many believe that old Stomper has overstayed its welcome and that Sacramento is a fresh start for the A's, which the new patch reflects, Some believe that while the elephant's origins are fascinating, does it still connect with fans? The answer is probably a no. A Sacramento patch and a tribute to Ricky Henderson feel far more relevant and engaging for the A's current journey. The A's have been associated with the white elephant for over a century. It started as a snarky remark from John McGraw back in 1902 and evolved into a rallying cry for the franchise. Over the years, the elephant symbolized everything from irony to tradition to an attempt at good luck. Let's get into the story. It's a good one. The story of the A's elephant is no ordinary tale. It's a thrilling saga of defiance, redemption, and a rivalry that spanned more than a century, still resonating today. It all began in the cold winter of 1988. The Oakland A's, having drifted through years of mediocrity, were desperate for something, anything that would turn their luck around. Enter the Haas family, new owners of the A's, looking to breathe life into a team that hasn't tasted true success in years. Not necessarily new owners, as they purchased the team almost a decade earlier. They needed a symbol, something powerful, something bold. And then, like a bolt of lightning, they resurrected an ancient icon, the white elephant named Stomper. Why the elephant, you ask? The answer was simple, yet filled with so much irony. The symbol had once been an insult, a jab tossed by none other than legendary Giants manager John McGraw, who called the A's a white elephant. Basically, he called the A's a useless burden. But Connie Mack, the legendary A's manager, didn't flinch. In fact, he turned the insult into a battle cry, accepting the challenge and making it his own. We'll take that elephant, he declared, and it became the symbol of their might. Fast forward to 1988, and that same defiant spirit was reborn. Slugger José Canseco, one of the fiercest power hitters in baseball, was fully on board. The elephant wasn't just a mascot, it was a statement. It represented the A's monstrous home run hitters, Canseco, McGuire, and others who sent balls flying into the deep reaches of the Oakland Coliseum. Every time they swung their massive bats, it was as though the elephant itself was roaring from the stands. And then, boom, the A's did it. They dominated the 88 season, winning 104 games, sending shockwaves through the league. They made it to the World Series. The elephant had come alive. Stomper had come alive. And it was pushing the A's back to the pinnacle of baseball. But here is where the story even gets more thrilling. Let's rewind back to 1902. Back then, the American League and the National League were locked in a fierce battle for dominance. And McGraw, never one to back down, had a bone to pick with the A's. He scoffed at the team, calling them a white elephant, again implying that they were a burden. McGraw, already on the outs with American League president Ben Johnson, was ready for a fight. And Connie Mack, the A's manager, he didn't back down. He took McGraw's jab and turned it into a challenge, betting McGraw $1,000 that his A's were no white elephant. In an unexpected twist, the A's went on to win the pennant that very season. From that moment, the elephant wasn't just a symbol. It was a powerful emblem of the A's strength. The elephant kept returning over the years, always emerging during the A's most thrilling moments. From a live white elephant presented to Mac in 1910 to the logo being stitched into the team's uniform, it was clear that the elephant has become a mark of pride. Even as the team experienced highs and lows, At one point, the elephant was even replaced with a mule, but the A's always found their way back to Stomper. And in 1988, when the teams found themselves in a need of a miracle, the elephant was there again, leading the charge with Canseco and McGuire blasting home runs, with the A's pitching staff dominating under the likes of Dave Stewart and Dennis Eckersley. The team found success once more. But the elephant wasn't done quite yet. In 2017, a group of street artists transformed Oakland's skyline with a massive mural, a giant elephant carrying the entire city on its back. With gold tusks, a gold chain, and a trunk held high in triumph, it became the very essence of Oakland. Tough, proud, and never backing down. Today, the A's elephant is more than just a symbol. It's an unshakable force in the identity of Oakland itself. From the mascot Stomper to the statues scattered throughout the Coliseum, the elephant has become a permanent fixture in the heart of the city. In fact, the A's even turned it into a citywide treasure hunt, commissioning 50 different depictions of their mascot to celebrate their 50th anniversary. The story of Stomper, once a jab, now weaves its way through the streets of Oakland, a living testament to the team's relentless spirit. The A's have been through it all, the highs, the lows, the victories, and the heartbreaks. And through it all, one thing has remained constant: Stomper. It's more than just a logo. It's the heartbeat of the A's, the symbol of their battle against the odds. From 1902 to 2025, this magnificent creature has stood as a reminder that no matter what, no matter the challenge, no matter the rivalries, it's the spirit of the elephant that carries the A's forward. R.I.P. Stomper. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB baseball guru Sully brings a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout this offseason. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will see you tomorrow.